fabulous, great, excellent, or extraordinary. She is looking absolutely fabulous in her new dress. Face-saving, preserving your reputation or dignity. Winning a few seats in the elections was face-saving for the party. Facetious, treating serious issues with inappropriate humor. He is so facetious that he turns everything into a joke. Facile, too easily achieved or effortless. Our team made a facile victory in the volleyball match. Factitious, not genuine or true but deliberately made to appear true. Factitious roll numbers were allotted to the answer sheets after the exam. Faint-hearted, not brave or timid. This stunt is not for the faint-hearted. Fallacious, based on a mistaken belief. His argument is based on fallacious reasoning. Fanaticism, extreme beliefs or behavior related to religion or politics. Religious fanaticism creates hatred, violence, or even war. Fanfare, a large amount of activity or show to celebrate something. The studio released the film with much fanfare. Fantasy, imaginary pleasant situation but unlikely to happen. My childhood fantasy was to go into space. Farce, an absurd event. The meeting turned out to be a farce since no one had prepared. Far-fetched, far from reality and therefore unlikely. His story sounded bizarre and far-fetched. Far-flung, distant or remote. Nat Geo is planning expeditions in the far-flung areas of the country. Fast track, a route or method which provides rapid results. He is already on the fast track to stardom. Fastidious, very careful about accuracy and detail. The designs are famous for their fastidious attention to detail. Fatuous, silly and pointless. Their arguments were completely fatuous. Faux pas, embarrassing mistake made in a social situation. He committed a faux pas on his wedding, which his friends will never forget. Feckless, irresponsible and lacking strength. For a feckless person, it is hard to survive in this competitive world. Feisty, lively and spirited. She is a feisty woman. Even her opponents admire her. Felicity, great happiness. He expressed himself with great felicity. Ferociously, fierce, cruel, or violent manner. The hunter attacked its prey ferociously. Fervent, very passionate. She was a fervent supporter of art and culture. Fetish, something to which a person is obsessively devoted. She has a fetish about cleanliness. Fiasco, something that causes failure or embarrassment. The show was a complete fiasco, as the leading actor fell off the stage. Fickle, changeable. The weather here is notoriously fickle. Fierce, violent or aggressive. The ship was caught in a fierce storm. Fillip, a stimulus or boost. The news of foreign investment gave the stock market a big fillip. Filthy, disgusting, dirty, or very unpleasant. The many buildings in the old city are quite filthy. Flabbergasted, surprise someone greatly. I was flabbergasted by the huge cost of video games. Flagrant, very obvious and unashamed. His conviction was a flagrant breach of justice. Flamboyant, confident and lively in a noticeable way. She was a seriously flamboyant person, in dress and in sport. Flaunt, display proudly or obviously. He is rich, but he does not like to flaunt his wealth. Fledgling, having just taken on a particular role. Many firms that were just fledgling startups in 2000 are now mature, profitable businesses. Flimsy, weak and fragile. The storm flattened the flimsy wooden huts in the village. Flip side, the reverse aspect of a situation. The flip side of virtue is pride. Flourish, grow or develop in a healthy or vigorous way. Life flourishes under the ocean even under extreme pressure, limited light, and cold temperatures. Flurry, a sudden short spell of activity or excitement. There was a flurry of trading in the stock exchange. Folklore, the traditional beliefs, stories, and customs of a community. Her books are often based on folklore and fairy tales. Foment, stir up trouble or conflict. The video was banned on the grounds that it might foment racial tension. Foolhardy, bold in a reckless way. It would be foolhardy to go swimming alone in the sea. Fool's paradise. State of happiness ignoring possible troubles. Do not live in a fool's paradise. One cannot make a huge fortune overnight. Forays. Attempt to become involved in a new activity or profession. She made a brief foray into acting before becoming a teacher. Forensic. Relating to the scientific investigation of crime. Forensic tests showed that the man had been poisoned. Forfeit. Lose money or property as a punishment for a fault or mistake. He was ordered to forfeit more than $1.5 million in profits. Forlorn. Pitifully sad and abandoned or lonely. The old house stood forlorn and empty. Formidable. Inspiring fear or respect through being very large or capable. She looked every bit as formidable as her mother. Forsake. Abandon someone or give up something valued. He decided to forsake politics for journalism and for a peaceful life. Forthcoming. About to happen or appear. The government is preparing the agenda for the forthcoming elections. Forthright. Direct and outspoken. His forthright behavior offends many people. Forthwith. Without delay. The agreement between the companies has been terminated forthwith. Fortify. Strengthen a place with defensive structures. They hurriedly fortified the village with barricades of carts. Fortitude. Courage and strength. She faced the hardships of life with great fortitude. Foster. Encourage the development of something. Developed countries should foster global economic growth to help new democracies. Frailty. The condition of being weak and delicate. Despite increasing frailty, he continued to work late nights. Frantic. Very agitated as a result of fear or anxiety. Frantic efforts were made to locate the lost girls. Fraternity. A group of people with a common profession or interest. The medical fraternity is holding a meeting with the government. Fraudulent. Use of deception to gain money or personal advantage. Fraudulent phone calls and emails are common these days. Fraught. Involving something difficult or unwelcome. The plan is fraught with many problems. Fray. A very competitive situation, battle, or fight. A good holiday leaves you refreshed and ready for the fray again. Freak. Very unusual and unexpected event. The freak incident that happened last year is still fresh in the minds. Freebie. A thing given free of charge. Many governments grant freebies to people before elections. Frenzy. A period of uncontrolled or wild behavior. In a frenzy of rage, she hit him on the face. Fretful. Anxious or irritated. The boss was fretful to see the situation. Frivolous. Not having any serious purpose or value. She spends all her allowance on frivolous purchases. Frolic. A playful action or activity. We went out for a frolic in the sun. Front runner. The contestant who is leading in a competition. He is not a front-runner candidate for the post of Prime Minister. Fulminate. Express strong protest. The editorial fulminated against the proposed tax increase. Furious. Very angry. She was absolutely furious at having been deceived. Furore. An outbreak of public anger or excitement. The book caused a furore across the country. Fury. Extreme anger or violence. His remarks about a community resulted in a fury. Fuss. A display of unnecessary excitement or anxiety. He just gets down to work without any fuss. Futile. Producing no useful results. The team made futile attempts to equalize the match in the last minutes. Futuristic. Having very modern technology and design. A futuristic car was on display at the auto show. Fuzzy. Not clear. The screen suddenly went fuzzy. Fabricate. Invent or concoct something, typically with deceitful intent. He was accused of fabricating evidence to support his claim. Facet. One side or aspect of something that is many-sided. The issue has many facets that need to be considered. Fallow. Inactive or dormant, particularly in reference to land left unplanted. The farmer decided to leave the field fallow for a season to restore its fertility. Fanatical. Filled with excessive and single-minded zeal. She was fanatical about her fitness routine, never missing a single day. Fanciful. Overly imaginative and unrealistic. The movie was full of fanciful creatures and magical landscapes. Far-reaching. Having a wide range or effect. The new law will have far-reaching consequences on the education system. Fathom. Understand after much thought. I can't fathom why he would do such a thing. Fecund. Highly fertile, capable of producing an abundance of offspring or new growth. The fecund soil in the region supports a wide variety of crops. Festoon. To adorn with ribbons, garlands, or other decorations. The hall was festooned with lights and flowers for the wedding. Flagging. Becoming weaker, dwindling. The team showed signs of flagging enthusiasm after the long and tiring match. Flimflam. Nonsensical or insincere talk. The salesman's pitch was full of flimflam, trying to convince us to buy a useless product. Flotsam. Debris or refuse, especially from a shipwreck or discarded in the sea. After the storm, the beach was littered with flotsam. Foible. A minor weakness or eccentricity in someone's character. We all have our foibles, but it's important to recognize them and try to improve. Fulcrum. The point or support on which a lever pivots. Trust is the fulcrum of a successful relationship.